Welcome to today's webinar, Unlock AI's Full Potential, Tangible Uses for Everyday Life. Hi, I'm Seth Streeter, co-founder and Chief Impact Officer of Mission Wealth. And first, a couple housekeeping items. We hope you'll give us lots of questions today. Please post those in the Q&A box at the bottom of your Zoom screen. And if you have any technical questions, please post those into the chat box. We will be recording this session and also summarizing takeaways, so we'll email that to you after the event. You know, Mission Wealth's purpose is to empower people to realize true wealth. And of course, we know where we spend the majority of our time is optimizing your finances. But of course, true wealth also includes quality time with your family and your friends, experiencing a delicious meal at a new restaurant, and taking your family on a memorable vacation. So essentially, true wealth is being able to do more of what you love and less of what you don't enjoy as much. And now we have these AI tools at our disposal, almost a personal assistant, to help us improve our experiences and save time for what matters most. I'm so excited to introduce my friend Rajeev Kapur, who's going to help us learn how we can take advantage of this amazing resource. But before we begin the program, I just wanted to share that we take data privacy to the utmost concern at Mission Wealth. We know with any new technology, there's always concerns about data access, and our tech team works diligently to carefully assess any new AI tools that come to us from our software vendors to ensure that your information stays confidential and protected. So to kick off, I would love to have a sense of what our Mission Wealth community knows and is using as far as these AI tools. So we'll start with the Zoom poll. And I would love to have you just answer, how have you used AI in the form of ChatGPT or Bard or Bing AI, etc.? Please post how often you've used that, if at all. Okay, give it another 10 seconds and we'll see where we're at with our community. All right, let's take a look. 3% all day, every day. 14% use a few times a week. Almost half of us have tried it, but we're not regular users. And then 36% of us have never used. So let's see how those percentages change after we learn a little bit more about these resources. Well, I'm excited to introduce Rajeev. The agenda for today is Rajeev will spend about 10-15 minutes giving us background about AI, an understanding and education. Then he'll spend time about 15 minutes doing some live demos so we can actually see how we can use these different applications. And then finally, we'll save plenty of time for Q&A, and we already have a bunch of great questions. So with that, would love to introduce Rajeev. Rajeev has a great background in technology. Can we get that slide back up? Perfect. So Rajeev has a wonderful background from Dell in technology. He's been a 3-time tech CEO and is currently president and CEO of a digital media company, 1105 Media. He's the board member of 3 different AI companies, and he has an Amazon best-selling book out, AI Made Simple. And I believe he has a new book coming out on AI as well, because this technology is just changing so rapidly. He also has a certification in AI from MIT, and he's just steeped in this world of AI. So Rajeev, I know you got a lot going on in your world. Thank you so much for making time to share with us today.
Thank you, Seth. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's an honor, and I really appreciate you and the team's time, and a quick shout out to Crystal for all of her help in getting all this set up. So thank you so much, Crystal. And I'm excited here to be with everybody, and I hope this next hour is fruitful and everybody gets good take-home value. And we're gonna, everybody, the agenda today, as Seth mentioned, I'm gonna go through a quick little 15-20 minutes of a little presentation, and then from there we're gonna jump into some fun demos. Easy demos, nothing fancy, nothing crazy, personal demos. We're gonna do something simple. Like, we're just gonna do small little things like, hey, help us bake a cake, stuff like that, right? We're gonna do simple, easy things using AI and showing how powerful the tool can be. We'll do some other things, like maybe a family demo. So for example, maybe you have a vacation coming up and you can use ChatGPT to become your vacation plan. right? And then we'll also do a quick business demo if we have time. And then from there, I'm happy to answer questions. And if I don't have an answer for you, I promise to get the answer, and I'll get back to Seth and to the team here, and they'll get the answer back to you. So thank you again for being here. It is my honor to be here with you guys today, and I appreciate you taking the time to spend with me. So with that being said, let me just go ahead and jump into the presentation, and let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. So hopefully everybody here can see my screen. Everybody can see my screen okay? Yes, all good? So real quick, if there's anything you need, if there's anything I can help you with, that's my email address. Feel free to write it down, email me. I'm more than happy to reach out, spend some time with you one-on-one. If this is something, if you're still kind of on the fence, not sure if this is something that is going to help you or embrace, is something you want to embrace, feel free to reach out to me and we can set up some time to chat. I'm more than happy to spend some time with you, because if I help you, I know I'm supporting Seth at the same time. So feel free to reach out anytime. So what are the 5 key takeaways for AI success? And this is essentially the key take-home value I want you to be thinking about. Number 1 is I want you to be really curious. I want you. Do you remember like when the first internet browser came out? I mean, it was for me like 1995. I was working at Dell. Michael Dell came into this room. I was in this room with 5 or 6 other people, and he had this box from the Mosaic browser, and he threw it on the desk, and he said, "Hey, figure out how to sell computers on this thing." And we all looked at him like he was crazy. Like, who's going to buy a computer online, right? You heard the stories. There's no way Amazon's going to survive. Who's going to buy a $5 book and spend $5 for shipping? Well, look how the world has changed, right? So think about that. And that's kind of where we are right now. In fact, I would even go even further and say this is potentially the greatest technological advancement that we've ever seen. So it's really exciting. So to have success here, just be curious. Think of it, don't get overwhelmed by terms like artificial and those kinds of things. Just have some fun with the tool. You don't have to, if you're just getting started and you don't want to pay for the advanced version, the $20 a month, that's fine. Just get the regular version, download it, play with it, get the app, and you can have some fun with it. And it's small little things. We're going to do some really simple little blocking and tackling things today. So just be curious. The other thing to remember is that if you are starting to use this and you think there's an opportunity in your business, even for yourself, is remember that data is king. And you cannot be successful with AI unless you've got great data. And this is really directed to folks who are, who have businesses, who are running companies, or maybe are at the C-suite in the business. In order to be successful here, you've got to have amazing data. And the thing of it is that we've been surrounded by AI for a long time, and I'm going to show you exactly how we've been surrounded by that. But to be successful, you got to have data. And then don't focus on the term augmenting intelligence. Don't focus on the term artificial intelligence. I want you to focus on the term augmenting intelligence. It's a tool. Use it as a tool. I know this is fairly benign for me to say this, but it's just like another calculator, right? It's just another tool that's going to be there. As a matter of fact, Microsoft, which now owns about 49% of OpenAI, the parent company of ChatGPT, is now integrating all of these ChatGPT technologies directly into Excel, Word, PowerPoint, Microsoft Teams, all those types of text. In fact, there's AI tools built here into the Zoom and our Zoom call. As a matter of fact, over the next 45 to 55 minutes, you might see a thumbs up pop up on the screen or hearts pop up on the screen. And that's just Zoom listening, saying, oh, that was a positive comment. So, let's give it a thumbs up. And that's just happening now on its own. And that's just the AI helping to enhance the overall presentation. So focus on how it can help just augment what you're doing. It's not there to replace what you're doing. It helps to augment what you're doing, make it more efficient, make it more productive. And use it to do the one thing money can't do, which is buy time. A task that maybe would have taken 6 days to do, with AI, maybe it might take 6 hours. It might take 16 minutes. It might take 6 minutes. I'll give you an example. So I've been working with this company out of France, and they're one of the largest and oldest beauty brands. And they've been thinking about forever how to have a product that could do both Botox and collagen at the same time. And they were really struggling. Well, I was there. I met with them. Their board was in the room, their scientists were in the room, and we used ChatGPT to we wrote the prompt. When we used ChatGPT to come up with the solution to see if they couldn't spit out using AI a potential formula to do Botox and collagen at the same time. And guess what? In literally 15 minutes, it did. And so the bottom line is that I got a call from them last week, and they now think it potentially could work. And if it does, they'll know in the next year or so, it could potentially be $1 billion business. And all it took was 15 minutes of brainstorming using ChatGPT. So there's small little things like that, but it's all little things too, whether you want to create a job description, like I said earlier, whether you're looking to maybe create a vacation plan for your family, it's all there to help buy time. And just remember this, it's not going to be an option. Right now it's a little bit of an option, but over the next 2 or 3 years, these tools are going to get really powerful. Right now, there's some challenges with the tool. You can't necessarily believe 100% sometimes of the outputs, so you got to go sometimes double check, but they're making progress there, especially in the version 4 of ChatGPT, where you can now annotate sources where the source of data comes from. So that issue of hallucinations or making up numbers and all that stuff kind of slowly starts to go away. But it's a fairly advanced tool already. So imagine what it's going to be like in the next 2 or 3 years. Think about the first iPhone or the first smartphone when they came out. Now look at the difference between that and what it is doing today. So the same thing's going to be there. Think about the first websites and what they are doing now today. The first e-commerce sites doing now, right? Social media sites. Anybody remember MySpace and how it's transformed into what we see today? So that's all happening. It's going to be a natural evolution. It's not going to be an option. But the one thing I can tell you, whether it's 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, or 5 years down the road, this is good. This is for sure. So please mark my words. People and companies that don't use AI will be replaced by people and companies that do use AI. And that's just the fact. Whether it's in 2 years or 5 years, it'll eventually happen. So the fact that you're here today shows that you're interested and that you're willing to start learning. And I appreciate you being here. And like I said, if you get stuck anywhere, reach out to me and I'm more than happy to try to spend some time with you to help you get unstuck. So I'm going to just give you this answer since this is not super interactive today. So what do high school football, what do high school football in the Midwest, hurricanes, and pizza have in common? So I spent a lot of time working for an old computer company called Gateway, if you guys remember, with the cow spotted boxes, and I was at Dell in Austin for a long time. And high school football is, for some of you that might be on this call, maybe you played high school football, that it's a religion in some parts of the country. And hurricanes in the Southeast become a problem. And guess what? They have kind of overlapping seasons. They're kind of in the middle of August, kind of middle of November. You have this weather challenges. You have the high school football season. And what was happening was a major pizza franchise, and I can't say who it was, they were having a double whammy. After high school football games were over, they were really struggling with doing the predictive analysis to say, hey, how much pizza do I need? How much pepperoni do I need? And they were just running out. They didn't have the ability to service the customer because you have thousands of people flooding the local pizza places. There might be 1 or 2 stores only, for this pizza place, and they just couldn't fulfill. Same thing was happening with hurricanes, right? During a hurricane watch, people want to stay home, and so they want to call and say, hey, send me pizza. And this was 10 years ago when this was happening. It was after I got certified from MIT, and now you have Uber Eats and DoorDash and all these kinds of things, but back then you didn't have it. So it'd take 2 or 3 hours during hurricane season to get a pizza delivered, right? So what do they have in common? Is that my team came in, we worked closely with that, and we had data. We got all the data from them. We knew what time games would start. We knew what time games would end. We knew by zip code, by county. We knew how long from the time the game ended, how fast people were able to get to the local restaurant for pizza, whatever it might be. We knew all that information. So we just built an algorithm, an AI algorithm that did predictions that say, okay, when in this city, in this zip code, when this happens, this is how much people are going to, this is how many people are going to come, this is how long it's going to take them to get there, and this is their product mix. This is how much they're going to buy. And so by doing that, by building out that algorithm, they saw a 70% increase in their ability to service their customer. That's huge to that company's bottom line and their customer service. And we took that same algorithm and we took NOAA data, we took Almanac data, we built the same algorithm, and now we retrained it with data, with weather data to say, oh, during a hurricane watch, this is what you can expect to happen in this part of the country. And it was primarily Louisiana, Florida, and a little bit of East Texas where you saw some of that issue. But they were able to see, they saw about a 37% increase in their ability to service their customers. So that was all using AI. So the point of that is that it's all using machine learning AI. And we've been surrounded by machine learning AI for a long time. So if you want to go ahead and do this just on your screen, if anybody on here have all 4 of these brands in your life, just go ahead and hit the thumbs up if you do. How about 3? A couple people have 3, 2. Most people have 2. Yeah, most people have, I would say the majority of people have 2. Netflix and Amazon, and Spotify's the 3rd, and Tesla's the 4th. So I actually have all 4. And guess what? When you're watching a show, so if you're watching a show and if you go to Netflix tonight and it says, oh, Rajeev, you watch this show, we recommend this show. That's using AI. Netflix is using AI. It's being trained on my viewing habits. And if you have a family sharing plan, if I go click on my kids' Netflix account, it's going to be different because their viewing habits are different. That's just using AI. So we are training, all of us here are training the Netflix algorithms to get smarter. Spotify. I went to go see U2 at the Sphere in Vegas a couple of months ago. It was amazing. One of the greatest concerts I've ever been to. Well, when the concert was over, the next day, I got an email, or I got this alert from Spotify saying, hey, Rajeev, we know how much you love U2. Here's a special playlist we made just for you. That's using AI, because it's my listening habits. Amazon, you read this book, we recommend this book. You bought this product, we also recommend this product. That's all using AI. Right? So we've been surrounded by this AI stuff for a long time. People just don't realize, right? It's just kind of second nature to us. And that's what's going to happen long term. But what caused the difference, what caused the sea change, is this idea of generative AI, right? And they're two totally different things. Whereas machine learning AI really requires our day-to-day participation, generative AI doesn't. So on the ChatGPT side, we're going to skip all the other brands listed here. Bard is Google's version of ChatGPT. We'll skip all the other things for the sake of time. But ChatGPT got trained on with all the outputs that exist on the internet today. There's billions of parameters right now on the internet, and it got trained on all those different kinds of things. And it's constantly getting trained and tweaked a little bit, but it's essentially learning from all of our different inputs that's already out there right now. Okay, so that's really kind of the difference. And the way it kind of trains itself a little bit behind the scenes, a little bit how the sausage is made, is imagine if all 50 of us or 30 of us, whoever remain on this call, all walked into a Barnes and Noble store. We all picked up individual books, started reading. Well, I'm absorbing the book. I'm absorbing the other 29 books, just like you're absorbing all the other 29 books at the same time. And that's how it got trained. And that's where you continue to see the evolvement and the evolvement of the tool. And the tool is just getting better and better and better. So a little bit of history here over the last 13 months. There's a paid version for ChatGPT. There's a free version of ChatGPT called 3.5. Anybody can get that. Knock yourself out. In January, Microsoft invested $10 billion in OpenAI, so they now own 49% of OpenAI and ChatGPT. They released, and then in March, ChatGPT 4, which is the advanced with a lot more advanced features. There's an advanced data analysis feature, which I love. It's basically giving everybody a data analyst in your pocket. So for $20 a month, you could hire your own little data analyst and put them in your pocket and to use that data analyst to help you analyze files, paperwork, whatever it might be. Knock yourself out. It's amazing. It's like, I mean, I use it all the time. So I used to analyze Excel files. I just got my insurance paperwork for my company back, and I had the old plan and the new plan, and I put it up in ChatGPT and I said, please compare the plans and tell me the differences. So all those kinds of things. So it could do those kinds of things. It's really exciting. And so it could do all those, simple type of tasks, that it saves me a ton of time when that happens. It's now multimodal. What that means is that if you download the app on your phone, you can now, there's a little headphone button, you can click on it, you can talk to it, you can have a full two-way conversation with ChatGPT. If you see something, you're not sure what it is, you see a plant or something and you take a picture of the plant, upload it to ChatGPT, say, hey, what is this, right? You see an animal, you want to know what it is, just take a picture, say, what is this? It'll tell you what it is. So it's completely multimodal now, especially using the app. It's a lot of fun, it's easy to use. Microsoft in November, like I said, is now rolling out their Copilot product. And for business users, most companies are Microsoft shops. So definitely talk to your Microsoft rep and see how you can get Microsoft Copilot integrated into your businesses. It's a great little tool. It's got some challenges. I've been playing with it for the last week or so because I got it about a week ago. It's still got some challenges, but it's still early in the cycle. And so imagine a year from now, it's going to be much better. That Google has their own little version, and then Apple's in the process of coming out with their own kind of version as well. So you're going to see quite a few companies jumping in this space, and I imagine over the next year or two, you will see some consolidation as well. All right, so why now? Real quickly, we're going to jump through this real quickly. There's 3 reasons why now. Number 1 is technology advancements. There's more power in your smartphone than there was in the entire moon mission. In the next couple of years, there's going to be more power in your laptop than there's in the entire human brain. So being able to process those algorithms is going to be huge. That's one reason why NVIDIA is going crazy right now, right? Because they can process this stuff so great. It's so fast, and they need that data horsepower to process these algorithms, and that's why their stock is going nuts. And then data availability is also blowing up. Data is going to be the new oil, and then it's already the new oil. To be successful in AI, like I mentioned, you got to have amazing data sets. And right now in the world, there's 2 zettabytes of data, and a zettabyte of data is 1 million billion bytes. In the next 5 to 6 years, there's going to be 200 zettabytes of data. So huge data explosions coming from all over the world. And there's a hyper need for prediction, automation, and personalization. And I'll tell you, over time, every job will have some sort of impact. My job, Seth's jobs, everybody's job. I didn't say lost, I just say have an impact. An impact could be more efficient, more productive, all those kinds of things. So what does the future hold? A lot of different custom learning. People ask me this all the time, like, hey, my kids are using the tool, how are they going to learn? I see you're going to start shifting more towards more of a case study type teaching and learning through high school and the college ranks. And you're going to start to see kids being graded more on how well they know the content as opposed to just writing out the content. Personal assistants, for you fans of Avenger movies and Tony Stark and all those things, we will all have, and if you're old enough like I am, I'm 56, remember you had Rosie from the Jetsons and you had Jarvis from the Avengers. We will all, over the next few years, whether it's 5 years or 10 years down the road, we will all have our own personal assistants. It's all going to happen. It'll be a hologram form. It'll be either a personal robot in the house. It'll either be a living kind of Siri type product living within the speakers of your walls. It'll all be there. A ton of money is being spent right now in human longevity. As a matter of fact, there's about 9,000 startups in the last 13 months, all around AI. Of those, about 6,000 are coming out of the US, mostly coming out of Silicon Valley, some out of Austin, some out of New York and kind of Charlotte area. But most is coming out of Silicon Valley. The rest is coming out of China and India. But every dollar that's not right now, that's not being spent on regular type of AI solutions is being spent on AI solutions for human longevity. In fact, I can tell you that there's a chance, my sons are 22 and 20, there's a chance they could live to 120, 130 years old. In fact, my grandkids could probably live to 150 with all the advancement that's going to be coming down the road with human longevity. And Seth and I are both very involved with YPO on the health and wellness side, and we hear and see this all the time. Huge opportunities on the climate change side. I'm not here to debate whether you think it's real or not, but if you're living in a part of the world where it gets really hot, you probably need to have different type of building material to help deal with that, or cold, or maybe you need better flood protection, wherever the case might be. AI is going to be able to model that out for you and help you create those solutions. Hyper personalization. We're going to go from a world that's one-to-many to more one-to-one. Real-time translation. So for you Star Trek fans, you're going to be able to speak to anybody in the world real time, and it's going to be a lot of fun and all that. And then there's also going to be a huge explosion in productivity. The good news is everybody on this call can become a director, producer, writer, creator. You'll be able to use tools. Your kids will be able to do all this stuff. That's the great news. The bad news, everybody can do that. In fact, that's the thing that keeps me up at night, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. So again, thank you for being here. We're going to quickly jump through this because I want to do the demos. The thing, I mean, I've already talked about this on most of these already. The one thing that you should be thinking about also, if you're thinking about it from a wealth perspective, is research. You know, research. Now with ChatGPT 4, because it has Bing, the Bing search engine directly integrated in, you can use it as a great research tool. And they have their own custom GPTs now as well. There's Scholar AI, which is integrated into ChatGPT and a custom GPT, where it can research all scholarly reports that are out there. It's a great little tool to do research. So it's a great tool to do research on anything. As a matter of fact, I can take, and I've done this before, is I can take Apple's earnings, throw it up in ChatGPT, and I'll say, analyze the earnings for me. And I can say, hey, what's good, what's bad, what don't you like? And I can ask it. And it told me the other day, it said, hey, they've reduced their cash position. You might want to keep an eye on that. So things like that. So are there concerns? There are absolute concerns. Okay, number one is the Superman effect. For the sake of time, the Superman effect is, imagine if Superman's spaceship crashed in Pablo Escobar's backyard, right? What type of Superman would we have? Probably not a very nice one. So that's the same thing with AI. With good AI, there's going to be bad AI. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of bad AI already out there. And that's what worries me the most. This is what keeps me up at night, is the end of truth and cyber risks. You know, I'm not super concerned about much else with these tools because they're just going to keep getting better and better and better over time. But this is what worries me. You know, we're starting an election season, and we just had the New Hampshire primaries, and someone recorded President Biden's voice, and they sent it to voters saying, don't vote. And it sounded just like President Biden. And that's the thing. Anybody can record your voice, my voice, your kid's voice, spouse, whoever it is, your employees, in 3 seconds. In 3 seconds, they can record your voice, and they can have you say anything that you didn't say. They can take your image and put it on anybody doing anything, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. That's deep fake technology. And that's there already. And I hate to tell you, it's there. If you go to YouTube right now, and when we're over, go watch Frank Sinatra singing Tupac. That's all using deep fake AI technology. So that's there. That's coming. It's already a problem. As a matter of fact, back in, I think it was like back in October last year, a bunch of kids got suspended from a school because they took one of their classmates, they took her face, they put her on the body of somebody else, doing some things that were not very nice. So that's all possible right now. And so you've got to educate yourself, got to educate your kids, come up with safe words, all these things. It's going to be a challenge. This is a thing that worries me. So if you are a business leader and if you want to invest in companies, find the company that's solving this problem, because this is going to be a big deal. Deep fake technologies. And then there's going to be some short-term job realignment, just like there was when the first internet, just like when the first PCs hit the desk, the internet browser came out, e-commerce came out, search, mobile revolution, social revolution. There's going to be some job realignment. There absolutely will. But there's going to be the new Ubers, the new Airbnbs, the new Metas. We haven't even heard of them yet. They're going to be coming out soon, and so we'll see who are going to be the new leaders in the future. So that's kind of where we are. Feel free to connect with me if you like, and we're going to jump into demos. And Seth, I know we've got quite a few questions. We've got some people chatting. We've got some questions here, so I'm going to jump into the demos unless you want to answer any of the questions real quick here, or throw any of the questions out there that make sense.
I think it would be great to go through the demos, Rajeev, because I think that will answer some of the questions.
Okay. So folks, I'm going super fast through this for the sake of time, and we got about another half an hour together. So I'm going to spend 15 minutes doing some demos, and we're going to have some fun. Now, guys, I want to be honest with you. This is fun. This is not super advanced. This is really, really, really like AI Basic 101. So the name of my book is AI Made Simple. That's what this is. And I wrote that book so my mom could understand. And no offense to anybody, that's what we're going to do right now. Is we're going to do something very, very, very simple. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use ChatGPT. We're going to use their DALL-E offering here in ChatGPT 4. Seth, when's your birthday?
November 4th.
All right. Let's just say it's coming up in February. And Seth, do you have a favorite sports team? Anybody you like, or is there
absolutely the Denver Nuggets, the best NBA team of all?
Oh, I got to hang up now. I don't think we can talk. This is. And so Seth, you're turning 50, right?
Yeah, 42. No, I'm 54.
Yeah. So right now, what we're doing is something called prompting. This is going to be the key to success. Please create an amazing image of a Denver Nuggets birthday cake. Provide. What's your favorite flavor, Seth, for your cake?
Chocolate.
Provide the instructions on how to make the cake. To make the cake. The flavor should be chocolate. Act as a Food Network chef while providing the results. So now it's creating an image, and let's see what it spits out for Seth's birthday.
Wow. Looks delicious.
So now it's going to give us the ingredients. And if you don't want to make it yourself, you can download the image. You can share it with the baker, somebody locally, how to make the frosting, how to do the fondant to get the decorations. how to prepare the cake. Divide the batter evenly between the two pans, right? It gets pretty good detail here, right? Make the frosting, how to make the frosting. So people asked so where do I get these DALL-E and logo makers? So one of the new offerings from ChatGPT 4, ChatGPT 4, I got 4 selected, is the ability to have explore GPTs. And GPTs are going to be ChatGPT's version of the App Store. So anybody can create one. So that's where I got DALL-E. That's where you can get logo maker, all these different things. There's Canva as a great logo creator right there. There's DALL-E. If you have kids, you want to take any idea and turn it into a visible coloring book, you can do that. Planty, plant care assistant. So, whatever. It's whatever it might be. There's a couple of different logo creators. You can see SEO article, optimize your article for SEO, diagrams and charts. AI PDF is cool. I use this one sometimes, which is upload a PDF and analyze what's in the PDF. Finance with Scholar AI, that's one I mentioned earlier, the one that you can do research, right? So I can click on here, and I'll give you an example of what I actually was helping a friend of mine yesterday. She's a doctor. She needs help with birth trauma research. What can you, and if I don't know what it can provide, I ask it, tell me what you can provide. What can you provide to help us with this research project? It wants me to sign back in. We don't have time for that right now, but let's come up here and do it. So it told me go to PubMed, Cochrane Library, Google Scholar, look at different data sources, different software out there that might make sense. Can you tell me the biggest issues for newborns around the world? Please provide a list of associations or people that are leading in this space. So quick, small examples, right? I'm just having the key to success here. I'm just having a conversation with the tool. Like I don't I don't think that there's an algorithm talking to me. I think there's a human on the other end talking to me. I'm just having a conversation. And it's even better on my phone because I'm using the multimodal feature and I can just talk to it. I can get the same results. So tell me more about Dr. Joy Lawn. So I think you get the idea, right? So we're going for the second time, I'm going to stop this. We're going to go jump into something else. So Seth, since or anybody else here want to jump in? I don't know if Crystal or Helena want to jump in. Anybody got a vacation coming up? Or if you got a vacation coming up, do me a favor, throw it in the chat. All right, Renee, you see you've got, okay, we got Scotland, 2 months, this Japan, Bali. So let's go with Scotland. Scotland for 2 months. And let's see, we got Scotland coming up 2 months this summer. All right, so let's see, who put that out there? Colleen. All right, Colleen. By the way, I do a lot of hi, hellos, thank yous, pleases with ChatGPT because just in case the Terminator AI overlords come for us, they're going to remember I was nice to it. So that's why I do that. I need you to be an amazing travel planner. Now, I want you to write this down. To be successful in prompting and to write in this box, you got to be a little bit of a storyteller. And to be successful, you have to give ChatGPT a role, a task, and an ask. If you remember the baking example we did for Seth's birthday, it said be a Food Network chef was the role, build a cake, and I want you to produce the recipe and how to make the cake, right? A role, a task, and an ask. So be an amazing travel planner, the role, okay? My family and I are going to Scotland for 2 months from June in summer. We will be there all of June and July. I need your help to plan an absolutely amazing trip. We love to hike, explore new things, and create amazing memories. We love to eat, like to drink, and have no food allergies. Now, for the sake of the demo, afterwards, we're going to tell it we do have an allergy and we'll see what it says. Okay. We would like to stay in 4-star hotels and better, and eat at not just the best restaurants, but also the hidden gems of the country. All right. Please create this 2-month itinerary that will be the greatest trip ever for me and my family. So there you go. You got, basically gives you a quick plan. It took all of 3 minutes to do this. You can copy this, you can paste it, you can copy it here, you can share it. You click on this little box here, you can share it with a family member, a friend, whoever you want to do. Say, take a look at my ChatGPT, modify, you can modify this, you can come back and say, okay, oh, wow, this is great. What do you think I am missing? So again, plenty of things to do, right? Plenty of opportunity. It can map out the whole thing. It's a fantastic tool. We're just spending 1 or 2 minutes on this whole thing. Like if you spend a half an hour on this, you can get a much more detailed thing and ask it questions. Just pretend like you're talking to a human. Do not imagine you're talking to an algorithm. Just have a conversation with it. Oh, that's great. Change this. I don't like this. I really want to go visit some music venues or whatever the case might be. Or you could say, hey, I want to, I think they're Scottish, right? I want to learn how to dance like the guys from Riverdance. I think they're Scottish. How can I do that? That's Irish. Well, you get the point. So there you go. You that's a quick, simple 1-2 minute thing and how to do those kinds of things, right? So now let's jump into a quick business demo, a couple of business demos. And I'm going to take this file, it's a global YouTube statistics file, and I'm going to upload it. And I'm going to ask ChatGPT, and this is only available on 4, by the way. You can't do it with anything else. Okay. What is in this file? It's going to tell me there's an error in the file because I use this file all the time. I'm going to do that on purpose because you can see it's going to self-correct. So for those of you, so while we're waiting, while it's doing the analysis of what's in the file, so for those of you who have kids, I'll tell you, this is going to be their future. I highly recommend they start taking Python classes, which is the key programming language of AI. You got to get them into Python classes. See, it said it couldn't do it. You just got to keep pushing it. And this is all correct, by the way.
Rajeev, while this is going through, we have a lot of questions asking about where AI gets its information.
It gets it all off the web. It gets it all off everything that's already out on Google right now. And as a matter of fact, the funny thing is Google actually had this solution a long time ago, and they gave away the formula for free and how to train it. So it's been trained on all the internet, all the stuff that's already out on the internet already.
And then how do you know it's valid? It's by asking these prompt questions as an expert is how you get greater validity, correct?
Yeah, you go into more detail. And this is, by the way, this is just analyzing a CSV file. So this has got nothing to do with the web. This is just right now, we're just analyzing a CSV file. But if you want to make sure to double check your work, what you can do is you can ask it to, it'll search Bing and it'll pull up, and it'll give you the links to go look at Bing, and it'll pull up the website. So just like you go to Google and you search for something on Google, you go to the first result most of the time. You kind of take it for granted. Okay, I think that's what it says. So you say, yeah, let me just use it. The same thing's happening here, right? So it's just going to use that. And I would tell you to double check the work. Don't just take it for gospel. You definitely want to double check the work. I do. I don't take 100% of what ChatGPT spits out for me unless the baking the cake stuff and the whole travel stuff. That's pretty benign. But when it comes to a business perspective, my team's been trained, I've been trained, we train everybody to make sure you take an extra few minutes to double check the work. Just because it's all brand new. I know there's a question, for example, about legal, or I know one of the questions was about legal, right, Seth, about, hey, how do you, Michael Cohen, Trump's ex-lawyer, he used ChatGPT, produced case law, and it was all bullshit. And so, it's not, I don't use it to do case law. If you have a lawyer that's using ChatGPT to do case law, fire the lawyer. I use ChatGPT to create an NDA. I'm using ChatGPT, hey, I would create an NDA, help me create an asset purchase agreement, all those kinds of things. So that's kind of where you see it there. But in the next couple of years, you're going to see more and more and more from a legal perspective. It's going to get trained. And over time, you're going to start to see the development of private GPTs. So imagine imagine a law firm having their own private ChatGPT just trained on their stuff. In fact, Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan, they're now building their own private finance GPT. So you at Mission could build your own private Mission GPT, for example, right? So when you have all that, and you have the data, it's just about cleaning and sanitizing the data. So, I would definitely encourage everybody to absolutely double check the work, because you have to. You have no choice. Okay. So I'm going to ask it to quickly create these in visuals, and then we're going to jump into the rest of the Q&As. Is that okay, Seth?
Yeah, that's perfect.
So again, this is the advanced data analysis tool. This is where you get your own little data analyst in your pocket to analyze Excel files, PDF files, Word files, you name it. And it's, now people worry about uploading it up here, so create an infograph for us. So, it's fun little things it can do. So with that being said, Seth, I think we're going to turn it over to you to ask, to see if we can jump in and ask questions.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Rajeev. And thanks everyone for all the questions that keep pouring in. And it's amazing to think back how much time that would have taken to find a graphic designer and research analyst to actually create what you just created in like 2 or 3 minutes. It's kind of mind-boggling. Let's jump into some speed round to get to as many of these questions as we can in the next 10 minutes. A basic one is, how do you switch from regular Google to Google AI for everyday searches?
That's a really good question. Unfortunately, I don't use Google AI all that much. And so, I am primarily, I use pretty much ChatGPT exclusively and the new Copilot product exclusively. So I'm not using Google's AI right now, Seth. I mean, we can go research, figure that out for the person who's interested in figuring that out. The reason why I don't use it is because I don't think it's all that good yet. It had a start. It failed miserably when it first launched. And then their new Gemini product, they did this big thing about a month ago, this big thing, and it came out that all that was fabricated. It was not real. So I don't have a lot of faith in Google's ability to do it, and only because Google has one product, which is search engine. And beyond that, a little bit of Android. Beyond that, they haven't done a very good job of launching new products. So I'm not a big fan of Google's AI solution yet.
Got it. Okay. What's the biggest difference between searching questions on just regular Google versus using AI? Do you ever still use Google searches, or is everything now for you through chat?
No, I mean, I still use Google for stuff. I mean, something really quick. Remember, ChatGPT is essentially, it's not a search engine. It's a partner engine. It's designed to be your assistant, right? It's like having a conversation. You can't have a conversation with Google search, but you can have a conversation with ChatGPT. So if you think of it as just a hyper search tool, yeah, I mean, you're not going to be successful with it. Just go to Google and use it and say, hey, tell me, what can you tell me about Apple stock? Okay. But if you want to analyze Apple stock, if you want to do more research on Apple stock, right now what happens is Google search engine produces 50 pages of results on Apple stock. Whereas ChatGPT, you can go have a full conversation with it and say, hey, what's their cash position? You can have a full conversation with the tool itself and give you more detailed information. So don't think of it as a search engine. Think of it as a partner engine to help you partner as an assistant to help you get the answers you're looking for.
Perfect. Could you share a couple other examples for how we could use generative AI if it comes to creating images or songs or graphics? Like, what are some everyday uses that you're finding people are using the generative AI for today?
I mean, geez, Seth, they're using it for everything. I mean, there's like I said, you can go on YouTube right now and you can find thousands of generative AI, songs that have been generated. You can use it to create poems. You can, I could take any kind of search, any kind of ChatGPT result and say, hey, put it in the voice of Barack Obama. It'll spit it out in the voice of Barack Obama. People are using it as a translating tool. I could go and say, hey, translate. And in fact, you know what? I actually want to do that real quick because I think that's something that people might like to see.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and do that. So let's go back to our birth trauma research project here. Okay. Can you translate this into Spanish, please? Dr. Joy Lon, blah, 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 right? So you can see how fast it's doing that, right? If you want to do other languages, you can. So it's all possible, right? It's all something that we're going to be able to do. So just things of that nature. If you want to have fun with it, I mean, it's just people are using it for all kinds of different things, and people are having a lot of fun with the tools right now. So that's just one quick example of how you can use it right now for different things. But definitely go onto YouTube and watch different videos. I mean, that's the reason why there was a big writers and actors strike, out here, right? The producer strike, because they're worried. They're worried that everybody's gonna have access to these tools, and what does that mean for them in the future? And they're right. They have a reason to be worried, and that comes back to the issue of deepfakes that I talked about. So again, go to YouTube and pull up, videos of Frank Sinatra singing Tupac, and you're just gonna blow you away.
We posted that in the chat so people can check that out. Rajeev, maybe you could talk about education. There's articles out there that say that students today would rather ask ChatGPT a question than their professor. Why do you think this is? And how do you think all this generative AI is going to impact education?
So as I kind of said earlier, I think what's going to happen is I think you're going to start seeing kind of that high school, some of the more maybe I think more of the undergrad level work is going to start to switch more to the case study method. So I want you to think of it this way. In high school, and there are already some demos of this happening, some places that are trying this, there's going to be a camera in the room. And if the professor or the teacher puts up a math problem on the screen, for example, or on the whiteboard or wherever they're doing, the camera will identify if there's 30 students in the room, what 10 students got it really fast, what 10 students, it took a little bit of time to get it, and what 10 students didn't get it at all. So now if you're the professor, don't spend time with the 10 kids that got it, go spend time with the 10 kids who didn't get it at all, for example. So that's an example of a math science type of a classroom scenario. But let's say someone says, hey, do a paper on the American Revolution. I'm like, fine, have ChatGPT help you do a paper on the American Revolution, no problem. I'm not going to grade you on the paper anymore. I'm going to grade you how well did you annotate it, how well you know the content. I'm going to grade you on your participation in class. I'm going to grade you on, can you tell me the difference between George Washington and whoever, right? And the founding fathers, whatever, So that's where education, in my view, is going to go, right? I think education go more and more to that path. There's nothing, just like the first calculators came out. What did the teachers do in the classroom with math, right? So it's the same thing. So these are just advanced tools that everybody's gonna have access to. I don't think you can't stop it. Genie's out of the bottle. Nothing you can do. It's there. And quite frankly, people above my pay grade in the education system are going to have to figure this out. I think that's the way they're going to have to go. And I think I'm right.
Yeah. Well, we've shifted from being a knowledge economy where, we wanted to know this information ourselves. And now, knowledge is ubiquitously available to becoming more of a wisdom economy. So which industries do you foresee being most negatively hit by all this AI impact? And which industries or opportunities for future jobs do you see we as humans need to be moving toward?
I wish I could kind of I'll give you my kind of speculative answer, right? It's hard to say. I think kind of the media space, the marketing spaces, search engine optimization jobs, those kinds of things. ChatGPT can do that type of stuff. Social media tool creation, social media post creation, agency type work, some low-hanging fruit areas where you're going to see some impacts. But that's kind of short term. Longer term, I think you're going to see impacts to industries like paralegals, long term, 2-3 years down the road. If you have 100 paralegals in your law firm, you might need only 10. If you have, medicine on the medical side, I think you're going to see major breakthroughs on the medical side over the next, as you know, Seth, as you know, there's going to be major breakthroughs on the medical side over the next few years. I think, there's going to be a lot. I think you're going to have a lot less, medical professional need over time because We're finding cures for a lot of big diseases, and who knows what comes after that. But I think that's going to be an area that's going to get impacted as well. And what's the domino effect on insurance and all those kind of areas, you know. But I think there's going to be new areas that are going to be created. And I'll tell you, I think the biggest area of opportunity is going to be this thing I talked about earlier, the thing that keeps me up about my concern, right? My biggest concern with AI is not job loss, because that's what people said when the first browser came out. People are going to lose their jobs. The social media revolution happened. People are going to lose their jobs. All right. Uber is going to come out. There's not going to be taxis anymore. I'm not concerned about that stuff. People are going to find new jobs. People are going to get retrained. Just the way when people got retrained when the first desktops hit their desks, they're going to get retrained. If you remember, there's that movie Hidden Figures that talked about how NASA put the men on the moon, and it used those ladies, who are doing everything by hand. The ladies were actually called computers. They were called computers, if you remember in the movie, right? So they just had to get retrained on the new technology. And the same thing is going to happen here. You just got to get retrained on the new technology. You're going to be fine. I'm not concerned about job loss. I'm just really not. But I'll tell you what I am concerned about is deep fake technology. That S word, F word keeps me up at night. I'm telling you, everybody on this call should be worried about deep fake technology. And if you want to learn more about deep fake technology, go on to YouTube, watch the videos, to go to ChatGPT and say, give me some research on deep fake technology. But definitely get yourself up to speed on deep fake technology, because every single person on this call, you and me included, can be severely impacted.
Yeah. Well, this has been really incredible, Rajeev, and we've got a lot of questions coming in. How do I access chat? Can I use the free version versus the paid version? So maybe just a comment, for our parents, whether it's my father or my mother, like what would be the basic advice you'd tell someone who wants to start dipping their toe in as far as a first step, which version, and just how to make that easy for them?
So buy the book. No, I'm just kidding. All joking aside, I mean, look, just go to the OpenAI website, go to ChatGPT, get 3.5, get the free version, start playing with it, do simple things, bake a cake. The free version won't give you the image, but it can tell you how to bake a cake. It can tell you, hey, help me make a cookie. It can tell you whatever it might be, help you plan a quick little vacation. It can tell you whatever you want to do. If you want to learn how to play an instrument, it'll teach you how to play an instrument really fast. If you want to plan to teach you how to play the trumpet, it'll give you a plan to play the trumpet. If you want to plan to run a triathlon, it'll give you a plan to run a triathlon in the free version. So just start playing with it, just like you started playing with Google and all these others, Facebook and social media stuff and your iPhone and apps. Just start playing with it. It's easy. And there's free versions available. It doesn't cost you anything, and it's going to save you time. So just start playing with it. That's really all you can do. And for those of you who are fans of Ted Lasso, any Ted Lasso fans here, like I love that show. I've seen it like 3 times. It's my favorite show of all time. It's like he's got that saying, be curious, not judgmental. So be curious, not judgmental.
Yeah. Well, Rajeev, thank you so much for filling our brains with these new ideas on how we can take advantage of AI in our everyday lives. And I remember, like, stay curious, ask smart questions with a role and a task and an ask to make sure we get the best data, and practice, right? Just practice, because AI is here to stay. We're not going to avoid it.